Hello, I'm Dan Toppy and welcome back to another brand new Fortnite video. Today version 4.3 of the game did come out, and in this video I want to give you my 5 most important updates from it. This was a pretty big update that included a couple of new items being added in, a few bugs being fixed and also a few new game modes. First off, and probably the most well known and obvious update that's been added into the game, they were talking about this a few days before it came out, and that is that you can now ride shopping carts. People have expected this for quite a while. They added in the racetrack where there were a line of shopping carts waiting to be raced, and it is something which people have been expecting for quite a while. Obviously it doesn't work anything like vehicles in PUBG or any other games where you can actually drive vehicles. It's incredibly slow, as you can see in the gameplay, and it doesn't really give any sort of advantage to the player who's using it. It's more just something for people to mess around with, but they might put in a limited time mode in the future where it involves racing with them or something like that. 2 players can be using the shopping cart at a time. Person can be riding inside of it and can be shooting, and the other person's obviously pushing it and can't be shooting. These are found all over the map, and if you do decide to push one of these off a tall hill or a mountain, you will still take fall damage because it is enabled. When you're using it, it shows you all of your controls on screen. Your crouch button makes you change seat, so going from pushing it to riding in it. When you're pushing it, your jump key lets you do either one big push, or it allows you to coast, so it allows you to just jump up off your feet. The pickup key is used to enter and exit the cart, and obviously when you're pushing it, you can use your sprint to make it go faster. You can't turn very easily whilst using this, and it doesn't go that fast, so just know if you do choose to use this, you are going to be very exposed and you will die quite easily. Next up is something that I talked about in my state of development video. If you haven't seen that, it's in the top right hand corner now, and basically I talked about everything that the developers were saying that they're going to put into the game in the future, and one of those things has already been implemented, which is the notifications that we'll get for completing challenges when we're in game. In the patch notes it says know your goals, UI elements have been added so you can track your challenges in game, and it comes with a picture where it's giving an example of what this could look like in game with just a little notification popping up on the left hand side of your screen. This is something I've wanted for quite a long time because it is very annoying when you're in game and you're not sure if you have completed one of your challenges, so you have to wait until the end to then find out. And if it's a challenge like open 7 chests and you've just miscounted and only opened 6 and you didn't realise, you only found out at the end of the game that you hadn't completed all of it, it's really annoying because you need to go back in and redo it. After that we have a new forage item that's been added. Forage items are natural items that you find on the ground, so the only one before this one that we had in the game were the apples. These were added in the last update, but this week we've had mushrooms added. The apples give you 5 health and the mushrooms now give you 5 shield. So if you do find a load of these mushrooms on the ground, it will be very useful, because even if you just find 5 of them, that's 25 shield that you wouldn't have if you didn't already have shields on. And just like the apples, these work all the way up to 100, so if you've only been able to find mini shields and can't find any big shields, and then you come across some of these mushrooms, it will get you more shield, just because it can get you all the way up to 100. Just like the apples though, they can only be found in specific locations, so if you want to find any of these, you need to go to shady wooded areas or swampy areas. So that's places like Moisty, Mire, Wailing Woods, those sort of areas where it's really dark, where you'd normally find mushrooms anyway. After that, something else that I mentioned in my state of development video has been changed. I talked about the bug where you jump out of the bus and it would point you in the wrong direction. This has now been changed. In the patch notes it says players now face the correct direction when jumping from the battle bus. This is something that was really annoying because it did mean that you wouldn't get down as fast as you could. Now that they've fixed it, you will be able to get down as quickly as possible, and hopefully it won't get beaten to the loot as easily. And finally, we have our 2 new limited time modes, and this week it's Blitz returning as version 2, and Teams of 20 also returning as version 2. These have been slightly updated, obviously the new weapons have been added, and a couple of things have been changed in them. With Blitz, the bus height has now been lowered to let you get into the fight even quicker, and we also have both squads and solo versions of it. This is great because Blitz is definitely a game mode that's really good when you're playing solo. I don't think we got the opportunity to play just in solo games when it first came out as version 1, so I can't wait to play it because it's a great mode and it's just so fast paced. In Teams of 20, each of the 5 teams now has their own bus. This is definitely going to be a big improvement because each team will now have their own flight path, meaning that every team will drop in a different location, meaning that all the players will be more spread out. Because in the first version of this game mode, everybody kind of dropped together, and there wasn't really the same build-up that you'd have in the 50v50. now that each team is going to be dropping in a different area of the map, you're now going to see more head-to-head fights like you would in 50v50. But they have been my top 5 updates from version 4.3 of Fortnite Battle Royale. If you would like to see all of the updates, I will link the full patch notes in the description down below. So if you do want to read all of them, make sure you are heading over there to see them all, because there are some more interesting updates that I just couldn't cover as I only wanted to do 5. But let me know what you think of this patch as a whole in the comments down below. I definitely think they improved quite a few things with this patch, and they added quite a few new good features. If you haven't already seen my state of development video that I talked about earlier, it's linked on screen now, so make sure you go and check that out. If you're new here, make sure you are subscribing for more Fortnite news and also weekly challenge tutorials. The weekly challenges will be coming out tomorrow, so obviously I will be covering them straight away. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.